Hey guys, it is Dr. Devin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are going to talk about stress. And because I know no one out there has a single ounce of stress in your lives, this may not apply to you, but if by chance you are alive and breathing and here on planet Earth in 2020 and 2021, chances are you might be poked and prodded, pushed and pulled on a daily basis. So, if you have had any stress or you anticipate that you might, I hope this serves you. As a chiropractor and an acupuncturist and a mom and a wife and a business owner and all of these roles and titles over the last few years, I've learned a lot. And I've gotten to reflect at like what I've learned from some of my key mentors and trainings and studies and how it applies to what I'm seeing show up when I'm in service in my office, when I'm seeing people physically wear. I'll ask someone, hey, how's it going? And they're like, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm totally great. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. We're carrying a whole lot of feels, anger and fear and sadness. And then there's the to-do list. And now that things are starting to loosen up a grip a little bit, we're gonna ramp back up and dip back into some of our busy. So today is for you. Thank you for the invitation to be here and to share this space. And I hope that you find it helpful. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. And let's talk about stress and how to survive and thrive. I call it 2020 because I think it's the year that will just keep on giving. We're in the tornado one way or another. Step one is you have to really understand what stress is. You guys know me. If you don't, my name's Dr. Devin. I am the chiropractor at the Lighthouse, the House of Hope and Healing, I like to call it. I am a mom of 5. I've got twin almost 10-year-olds, twin almost 5-year-olds, and a 16-year-old. So we run a busy house. I'm married to a chiropractor. I practice actually right next door to my sister, who's a chiropractor. And I like to speak and teach and help people find themselves and heal through whatever they're carrying from the past and thrive into the future they know is possible. So back to stress. Why do we have to ask what it is? Well, if you don't know what it is, you can't manage it. And I think it can be mistaken as an emotion. It's just something that we have to deal with. When in reality, stress management is a real skill set, and we're going to jump into how to empower you with that today. So some triggers tend to be events and people, work, finances, responsibilities, those roles that I started rattling off earlier. We spin a lot of plates and we demand a lot of ourselves. And so, but those are just things. I want to root down into the meaning of stress just a little bit further. The official definition is stress is a non-specific response of the body to a perceived demand. And get rid of a few of these little pop-ups that my computer likes to give me. There we go. So that you can, so a non-specific response of the body to a perceived demand. So this is our physiology. This is not an emotion. This is a real thing. The stress response is a real thing, a physiological response that happens in your body. So what does that mean? A non-specific response. Your heart starts to beat faster. So if you have ever been stressed before, you'll notice these things that start to shift in your body. Your heart beats faster, you breathe faster, your muscles contract, your pupils dilate, and you get this adrenaline rush type feeling. The response can happen when you perceive a demand, and we all perceive demands differently. It can be something little, like when the alarm clock goes off in the morning and you're like, oh, or a pot falls in the kitchen and you think one of your kiddos fell, or it can be something little, or it can be something big, like you're about to get hit by a truck, and you go into a serious reaction and response. Now, the response it's a primitive reaction and adaptation that we have because back in the day, in the cavemen, they were running from saber-toothed tigers. And so it served us when the lions were after them, we would have that heartbeat, adrenaline, and we went into fight or flight. This serves us when we need to run from tigers and lions. This serves us when you see the moms, the superhuman strength, lift a car off of a child, or if you're running out of a burning building. We are wired very well with a survival response. We are very adaptive creatures. Now, the problem is that when we are triggered, it's not always a big thing, but the body doesn't know the difference. It says, oh, she's in stress. Oh, she needs me. Oh, she needs the fight or flight. And it kicks in that survival response when it feels like it's being triggered or one of my needs aren't being met. Now, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is really important to understanding you and culturally what we're seeing going on. So I highly recommend jumping down this particular avenue. Maybe we'll come back to this at another time, but we have basic human needs, all of us. We start at the bottom of the triangle. We need air, water, food, shelter. We need our basic needs met. If those aren't met, we go into a stress response. You go above that into our safety needs, personal security, our being employed, and our financial security, resources, our health, our property, our family, our safety needs. When our safety is threatened, our body and mind go into the fight or flight response. So if you look at our state of our world, our community, our own individual, personal, professional lives, safety has been a threat for over a year. Now that means that the possibility is that our nervous system has been running in sympathetic fight or flight stress response out of survival mode for over a year. That is not healthy. Now, above that, we go into love and belonging. This is why when you don't feel loved or you don't feel like you belong, when you're out of sync with your people, you also have that fight or flight saber-toothed tiger response. Also, when we're, our respect, our self-esteem, stage fright, when our strength or our freedom is threatened. So each of these kind of show these are our basic needs. And when they are threatened or we are triggered in these areas, it reacts in that stress response. Now, we talked about this. If we can't flee, so if we can't run from, say, the coronavirus, if we can't run from the different things that are on the news and that we're all going through, or we can't run from the fact that maybe our kid's school was shut down or whatever, that we can't run from the situation, well, then where does the stress go? Because we can't get away from the trigger. And we can't fight, right? So a lot of these things there is nothing to actually fight. So what happens is this sympathetic overload is happening in our body and it ends up causing a chronic state of stress. This is bad. This is not good. So what's it do? Physically, we're looking at muscle tension, headaches, upset stomach, insomnia, hypertension, varicose veins, rashes, and hives. When we're stressed, it will manifest physically in a lot of different ways. What it can turn into emotionally: anxiety, depression, impaired memory, increased aggression, mood swings, inability to focus or complete tasks, suicidal thoughts. I know I don't have to tell you that, suicide and a lot of different things have gone way, way up, not just in us, but in our adolescence and our youth. And it's because it's not just the adults that are in a chronic state of stress right now. So as I'm sharing this message, I want you to think about you, right? Because we put the oxygen mask on ourselves first, and then we serve other people, right? So this applies to you, but I also want you to think, when your significant other has a mood swing or an aggression, you got to remember, like, they've been in a chronic state of stress for over a year. When you see your kids who are navigating it the very best that they can, but they don't understand, they don't have the language to say, hey, I'm feeling this. Hey, I'm stressed about that. And then we end up with all these labels. And again, we'll take that in maybe another talk, but this shows up in big ways in our emotional health. Respiratory wise, we don't get enough oxygen. If you've been in my practice, you have heard me say you are not breathing. We are getting a lot of shallow breaths. We're not breathing deep into our bellies. Do that with me. Take 3 big deep breaths. We're going to do another breathing exercise too. And if you start to flutter, it might tell you that, hey, I'm not getting enough oxygen. And when we're in sympathetic, when we're in stress, we're shallow breathing and we're not getting enough oxygen. This causes hyperventilation, and it can ultimately trigger into what people experience as a panic attack. Digestively, we either eat too much or we don't eat enough. We get nausea, we get reflux, we have digestion issues, we have weight gain. Guys, they call me the poop doctor. Not the nickname I was going after when I graduated from school with all that hard work, but you know what? I'll take it because when we don't poop, we're not happy. You don't feel good when you're constipated. And when our body perceives that, oh my gosh, I have a saber-toothed tiger. Oh my gosh, work is bad. My relationship's bad. My finances are bad. Coronavirus is going to get me. I'm scared of this. I'm scared of that. I'm mad at this. I'm mad at that. When we do that, our nervous system is in this overload. Well, then we put other tasks on the back burner, like digestion. This is why meditation and prayer and exercise and a time to recenter yourself and get out of that state of chronic stress is so important, because it messes up your digestion. Cardiovascular, we've got our heartbeat is too fast, our muscles contract. Ultimately, this can lead to higher incidence of heart attacks and strokes. Reproductively, this impairs testosterone production. It decreases sperm levels, and it can cause issues in the male reproductive and engagement areas. For women, it throws up our menstrual cycles. Ladies, I know I don't have to tell you, when we're stressed, our hormones are already a really fun roller coaster. But when you add, higher states of stress to this, we're really a mixed bag. And then our decrease of sexual desire. So when we're stressed at work or in life in general, and then we're trying to be intimate with our partner, which we need, that goes back to that Maslow's, hierarchy of needs. We need physical connection. We need hugs. We need touch. Kisses and hugs are so crucial to health and well-being. But if we're not feeling it, we're not feeling it. Immune system, right? So like the name of the game right now is maintain a healthy immune system, but stress causes our immune system to go down. So if you're stressed about the coronavirus, you make yourself more susceptible to engaging with it in a negative way, right? So a person that is in a state of happy and has better, mental and emotional health around the stresses of today is going to handle a virus of any kind better than somebody who is stressed out all the time, because their immune system doesn't work as well. And this goes for kids too. So their immune system, if you got kiddos that you're like, gosh, they got asthma, they got allergies, they're just constantly kind of dealing with something, or they have eczema, or they've got this stuff. Those are all expressions of stress. Our nervous system, again, being constantly in fight or flight survival mode, it can cause brain fog, and our motivation to get going. Our system is literally scrambled. Now, it can also be a good thing. So let's talk about some good things with stress. A piece of coal under pressure. If you're feeling the pressure, you are about to shine, right? Pressure is a good thing. Adaptation and growth are good things. Now, I love that quote from Armageddon where he says, I don't know if I'm 98% excited and 2% scared, or vice versa. But it's a wild time right now, and we feel 25 different emotions in a day. And that can be good, because it's causing us all to reflect on our life as we know it and make shifts and make different choices. And, the slowdown was good for a lot of us. I've heard that a ton, where people are like, I've had more family dinners. I've had more personal time. I'm not as stressed, because things slowed down. Now we get to differentiate. Okay, what do we get to intentionally choose what we want our life to look like, because we've grown. Because of the, stress response, now I'm awake and I'm aware of my surroundings more than ever before. I am more present in the now and less concerned about the future, because stress has put me right here. I have to focus on what's going on today. And that's a good thing. We're living in our conscious brain. And so we're not going through the motions. We're not just like, I'm doing this because I have to. We check the boxes of our to-do list. No, we're choosing more intentionally than ever before. which means that we're firing and wiring new connections in our brain. So this increases and boosts our immune system, creating diamonds, so to speak, in our brain and for our immune system. And it's giving us a sort of mental toughness. If you like what I'm talking about right now and how stress is a good thing physically and emotionally, read the book Relentless, because he takes you even deeper in that. There it is. Now, physically speaking, it causes muscle soreness and tension, and then we get muscle growth. From Tim Grover's Relentless, he says, stress keeps you sharp. It challenges you in ways that you never imagined and forces you to solve issues and manage situations that send weaker people running for cover. In Time magazine, there's two types of stress. There's distress, which is negative, like a breakup, or there's eustress, which is positive, like starting a new job. That's exciting. Going on a new date, starting a new job, that's good stress. That's healthy stress. But when we're chronically, that's again where it's, maybe not a good thing. But they have shown when it's something positive, and sometimes that's perception, right? Like if I look at, oh, I'm so frustrated at COVID and all of this conversation, my perception is that it's a state of distress. It's negative. But if I say, oh my gosh, individually and collectively, we're transforming. We are entering a new state of consciousness. We are about to evolve our paradigms in the way we look at health, in the way we look at business, in the way that we look at school. This is a time of great growth all of the sudden, because my perception switched. Now it's a state of positive change because I'm on a date with a new way of living life. Thank you, COVID. It improves cognitive function. This releases more interleukins. It boosts our immune system. This is that deadline pressure, chronic procrastinator right here. And, but that stress of a deadline, even COVID, like giving us this awareness. I've loved more and lived more presently and intentionally and deeply. If you've gotten a hug from me recently, like when I hug. And I can thank COVID for that, because I think I was taking things for granted. And now I'm sharper and I'm more focused on bonding and making the most out of life. Now, awareness and choice is everything. So, is life happening to me or is it happening for me? It's this whole lions versus sheep type mentality, right? Like if I'm a leader, if I'm the master of my fate, decider of my destiny, then life is happening for me and not to me. COVID is a good thing. What is this teaching me? It's all about that mentality that if this is happening, it's supposed to, because I am meant to grow through this. Perception is everything, and it will dictate your experience. If you're looking at it and you're like, grateful, bring it on, let's thrive through this, you're going to have a wildly different experience than somebody that's in the Eeyore mode of, woe is me, just can't catch a win, everything is bad. That person has a much different physical, emotional, spiritual experience to what's going on. Breathing is key. So I'm going to share a few different links attached to this particular gift. Priming by Tony Robbins and Wim Hof breathing. I'll let them take it from there, but breath is the gateway to your superpowers. You are superhuman, and breath is a way to get you there. Proximity is power. This is a motto to live by. You either live by this motto or you slowly die by this motto, because who you surround yourself with is who you become. So they say the 5 people around you are a reflection of you. So take a look back and go, okay, who am I hanging out with? What podcasts am I listening to? Who am I staying tuned in with social media? What type of news channels? If it's negative, get away from it, because that's a negative power that is influencing you. You can be tuned into current events and not tuned into the news. There is a way to stay positive and look at and be around people that lift you up, not tear you down. So proximity is power. Who do I have around me, and are they building my energy up, or do I notice that I'm pretty negative? Are they healthy or are they unhealthy? Are they a good influence or are they not a good influence? Proximity is power. Responsibility, my friends. Responsibility. I'm gonna take a second with this one. Responsibility is the golden key to living the life of your dreams. Radical responsibility. I take responsibility for everything. I have to. There's no other choice. I can't blame someone out there for what's happening in my life. Now, would I have chosen to these circumstances? Absolutely not. Are they making me a better person? You bet. And my perception and my level of responsibility matters. Your level of responsibility that you take for your health will dictate the life, the fullness of life that you get to experience. If you're constantly blaming others, if you're blaming your genetics, if you're blaming your health history, if you're blaming your environment, if you're blaming your city, state, region, if you're blaming the person on TV, if you're blaming, your mayor or Bill Gates, or you're blaming the president of the United States, they do not choose what you eat, how you sleep, whether you meditate, whether you rise with a positive mental attitude. They do not dictate who you hang out with. They do not dictate what you engage with socially. You, my friend, if you hold the responsibility in your hands and you make decisive, intentional choices towards a life fully alive, it doesn't matter what's going on out there. And that is a real fact that I wish more people would talk more about. All right, we'll go back. Little Dr. Devin tangent there. Now, avoid putting yourself in this either or. So remember that we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So when I look at a mask, I see a certain thing. And when someone else looks at a mask, they see something else, because a mask is actually just a mask. But what we're looking, we attach our story, we attach our perceptions to things, to people, to stories, to situations, to triggers. So move slowly, take a look, and look at, we as humans, we live in this duality, right? So Chinese medicine taught me this, that there is yin and there is yang. There is night and there is day. There is slow and fast, hustle and flow, go and stop. And so I think one way that we create stress in our life, self-induced, is that we say we either have to be this or that, when in reality, it's somewhere in between, right? And our perception of that matters. And so create your rhythm in finding and detaching from this idea of right and wrong. We do the best we can do. My mom always, had the motto for us that all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is always enough. So learn concepts like these that maybe we just need to zoom out and really look at our perceptions and how they're creating or adding to our stress. Am I eliminating it, or am I creating more of it? At home and at work, take a look at your light. So here's some tactical for my left brain people that are like, she gets really up in her emotions and ideas. Let's take it tactical. All right. Look at the light. Is it too bright in your work area? Do you have, the healthy light bulbs, or do you have the ones that are migraine causing? Take a look at, go for natural light. Natural light increases mood, increases productivity. Try to sit by a window if you can, and limit your exposure to the harsh fluorescent lighting, because they're not good for you and they cause that physical stress response in your body. Noise. Make sure and take break from noisy areas. Wear headphones. Binaural beats is another thing that you can put on that they have found increase the health of our brain frequency. And so look at what's going on in your work environment. Can you play a little something that brings you to a state of peace? Because if it's like super elevating, charged all the time, it's going to keep you in that state of chronic stress. At night, turn off the TV, before you go to bed. Start slowing things down. Don't just turn off all the lights and TV and then hop into bed because your nervous system is still up here. So start a wind down process and get things quiet. Turn everything off. Go to candles. Turn off as many lights as you can. Sleep in a dark and quiet room. Air quality matters. Make sure that you have smells that elicit happy response. And that you're not bringing harsh chemicals. We're using a lot of cleaners and a lot of nasty stuff right now. It's not good for us, and that's a stressful response for the body. So we want clean air when we can. Open windows, avoid heavy scents, air fresheners, or anything with toxic chemicals in it. Go for a walk outside, do the breathing exercises, and use diffusers and essential oils when you can. Clutter is a big one. I love Marie Kondo when she says, like, does this bring me joy? If it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. It feels so good to spring clean and get rid of stuff, but clutter eats up mental energy. So flat spaces attract things. And so if you look at your kitchen counter and you feel stressed a lot, go look at your kitchen counter. Go look at your work desk. Go look in your bathroom sink. If you have a lot of stuff and it's not picked up, that is stressing you and you may not even know it. It is an energy suck, it is a time suck, and it is a drain on your finances to keep clutter. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Basic foundation is that we have to take diligent care of ourselves. So self-care has to become a part of your daily rhythm. I wish everyone would engage in daily exercise. If we all just started exercising, every single day, the world would shift, right? We want to change the world, change ourselves. Look at exercising, getting your heart rate up, breaking a sweat 3 to 4 times a week at least. Food is huge. My rule of thumb, and it's not always perfect, is did God make it? Did man make it? Does it add life? Is it alive? Would it add life to my system? Or is it dead food? Does it have nutrients in it? Am I just eating for the sake of eating? You want things that give you life. And that's biblical, guys. Jesus wrote about this stuff. What you put in your body temple matters when it comes to stress management. Avoid excessive stimulants and depressants. Limit your coffee, nicotine, alcohol, substance in general, because they siphon your life force, right? Used in moderation. You can read articles that caffeine and nicotine are good things. Used in ceremony, red wine and things like that. But if we're going to it and it's a habit, it's a need, or we go through a withdrawal, we've got an addiction, and that's not good. COVID has ramped up radically people's dipping back into their old habits and addictions. So grab back a hold of it. Say today's the day. Ask for help, because that's just giving away your power. Make sure you're taking breaks and vacation. Life is for living. You got to schedule fun every single day. We are wired for achievement and to-do list. You've got to, and if you take a break, it's counterintuitive. If I schedule a week-long vacation, I'm going to miss a week of productivity, but I'm going to gain 2 months of productivity on the backside of it, because I'm going to supercharge my energy and I'm going to get myself out of that. I'm going to break the pattern of chronic stress. Make sure you get enough sleep. Look into napping. And try and stay on a rhythm and schedule. It's very good for us. Look at your emotional reserves. Go back to pursuing goals and dreaming big. Expect good things to happen. That's why you see our expect miracles every way, because your mindset matters. Take control of situations where you can. That responsibility piece, is this bringing me joy? Yes or no? If it's not, say no to people. Say no to things that are creating stress in your life. Don't beat yourself up. Be graceful in the process of this evolving, growing journey. Take time every single day before you even get out of bed. Just say a prayer, say some affirmations, do a short meditation, listen and just get quiet. Get outside and hug a tree, go for a walk, take time to just go within. Remember that you are loved. There are people on this planet who love you. There's a source and a God. that loves you and adores you. And when you're feeling like you're stressed, one of the things that I like to do is I like to give love. So I'll write a couple of thank you notes to friends or practice members. I'll send some text messages out to just send out a vibration of love, and then it always comes back, and it comes back more than I sent out. um, know that, you know, the stress, your kids, your students, the people around you are watching, your students. Monkey see, monkey do. So you're teaching, if you're a kid, if you're like, gosh, I don't know why they're so stressed, take it off the, if you are around a significant other, a child, a coworker, or an anybody, and you're choosing to engage with that person, they're your mirror. And so I hate to say it, but if you see a stress out there, as above, so below, as within, so without, and vice versa. Your external world is a reflection of your internal world. And sitting with that, this is the responsibility piece of either choosing to not be around those people or choosing healthier engagements with that person, make all the difference in the world, because it depletes your emotional reserves, and we don't have that to give right now. Don't ignore it. Step one is to own it. Look at how you're grinding your teeth. I use Valor and Peace and Calming and Stress Away essential oils, and I'll just take a few dots. And when I'm doing my affirmations or my prayers or my meditation, I've always been somebody that grinds their teeth. When my mom passed on and I was pregnant with the babies, I actually cracked 3 teeth in my mouth because I was grinding, gritting, and stressed through the night. So this is a real deal, guys, for dental health, and just headache tension, neck tension is getting right on that TMJ muscle and on your jaw muscles, and just doing a couple minute massage. Use supplements, got to get a good multivitamin, make sure the minerals, trace minerals are in there. Women especially, make sure you got a good B complex. Vitamin C, vitamin E is a really good stress reliever. Omegas, krill oil, help cognitive health and brain health overall. Go for a cup of tea. So kava, chamomile, passion flower, all good stress relievers. Go for vitamin rich foods. We talked about this, and you're going to get a copy of these slides so you can you'll get all of this. Limit things that cause an inflammatory. So stress takes us into go, and that creates a lot of inflammation. So you want to avoid things that trigger more inflammation in your body. Stay away from dairies, stay away from carbs and sugars, and overcooked meat that increases your inflammation response. And then stimulants like Red Bull and Bang, put them away. Quit pop. If you traded pop for water, if you cut down on your energy drinks, that alone is going to increase your health and happiness today. If it has life, it will give you life. If it's man-made, be cautious. Breathing. Let's do it again. It makes all the difference in the world. Place your hand on your belly and breathing in. This picture up here in this top corner, this is Master Wan, who I studied with in China. And he said he went to the Taj Mahal and India, and there was this woman, and she was always smiling, and she was, you know, he said you could tell she had visibly, you could see she had health problems. She you know, she smelled bad, she hadn't bathed, but she never stopped smiling. And he sat with her, and you know, he said, what are you smiling for? And she said, it's life. It's just life. And one of the exercises from The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, which I love, is a smiling and laughing exercise, just making yourself like forcing yourself. That releases chemicals in your brain, the dopamine and the oxytocin, the feel goods. It reduces cortisol when you smile, when you laugh, when you hug. And sometimes we do have to try and do that, and it's contagious. So, you know, start a game of laughing tag because it lightens the mood all around you. Meditation, clearing your mind and relaxing your body. Meditation doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be complex. You can go to YouTube and pick one. Maybe you like quiet, maybe you have a monkey brain and you need a guided visualization, but meditation is a complete game changer. Acupuncture is huge. There's some really amazing places in Wichita, and learning about acupuncture and acupressure. So learning some happy points that you can do on yourself and on your kids is really empowering tools that you can use at home. And totally biased, chiropractic is the name of the game. Chiropractic is about so much more than health. It's the whole premise is your brain and your body are connected. And if your nervous system is in a state of dis-ease, then it causes disease or pain. And so when we have areas within the spine that are impeding the way the brain and body are connecting, then it messes with all the different systems of our body. So if you get adjusted, it does help pain go away, but it does so much more. This is why kids get adjusted, babies get adjusted, animals get adjusted, because it helps you heal and feel so much better. There you go. You guys know. If you need help finding a chiropractor for yourself, I don't care where you go, as long as you go. If you need help finding somebody for your family member, just hit us up. Stress is not going to go anywhere. You know, the day that stress will end is the day that you're not here living and breathing. So stress is a good thing, and it's all in our perception and the way we adapt to it and our awareness around it. It does not have to dictate your life. You do not have to live stressed out. If you have questions, please send me a message. These are trying times. These are chaotic, frustrating, wildly fascinating times. And who knows how long it's going to be. But I am grateful for the opportunity to be with you virtually. Another blessing of this time is that I've learned technology a little bit better, and it allows me to be with you even when I can't be with you. So if I can physically support you, come to the Lighthouse. We would love to welcome you to our little house of hope and healing. If you have questions, you can email me. The podcast, If They Knew, is designed for you. Things that can help you come alive in your healthy and happy. We have a Facebook page. We have an event called The Big Idea, which is all about this. It's all about the big idea is that you are powerful beyond measure, that your power is inside. And when you own the power inside you, you become superhuman. That is the big idea. You are the big idea. Guys, I love you. I love you, and I'm wishing you well, and I'm cheering for you. And we are rising and transforming and thriving through these times. So if you need anything, let me know. I love you. I'll see you soon.